Here's the fact, friends. How we view the eternal determines how we live in the temporal. This is what it says in Hebrews chapter 11. It says, it was by faith that Moses, when he grew up, refused to be treated as the grandson of the king, but chose to share ill treatment with God's people instead of enjoying fleeting pleasures of sin. He thought it was better to suffer for the promised Christ than to own all the treasures of Egypt, for he was looking forward to the great reward that God would give him. Simply put, because Moses lived with an eternal perspective, it made Moses' temporal life look much different. Think of the great things that Moses did in his life. Moses helped free the Hebrew people from slavery in Egypt, the most powerful nation in the world at the time. He led this huge mass of refugees through the desert, kept order, and brought them to the border of their future home in Canaan. Moses received the 10 Commandments from God and delivered them to the people. Under divine inspiration, he authored the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And none of those things would have happened unless Moses chose a perspective early in his life to live with an eternal view. Living life with an eternal view radically alters yours and my world. Our values, our time, our possessions, our money, our struggles. Sometimes people will say this, they'll say, well, I'm physically here right now. Living for eternity stops me from living in the present. Yet history has shown us that that is not true. Henry Nouwen said, the spiritual life, the eternal life, does not remove us from this world, but it leads us deeper into it. You know, why is it that nothing in this life can bring us the ultimate joy and contentment we seek but can never find? Why? Because we were built for eternity. As Solomon said in Ecclesiastes, God has planted eternity in the hearts of men. Today, if you sense you are missing something in your life, that you had expected more, then perhaps you've been living life with the wrong perspective, with the wrong view. As Pascal said, there is a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of each man which cannot be satisfied by any created thing, but only by God the Creator made known through Jesus Christ. Moses somehow knew when he was a young man that all the riches from Pharaoh, from Egypt, that were readily available to him would not bring him the purpose in life God had saved and made him for. He chose a more difficult perspective, but a world-changing perspective, an eternal perspective. With an eternal view, our possessions become exciting possibilities of ways we can change eternity. Just a few months ago, friends, don't forget this, a little startup church named Live58 raised over $5,000 to liberate and give over 100 families clean water for life. That has affected people for eternity. Jesus' life was spared as a baby because 3 wise men gave their resources in worship to the baby Jesus. Those expensive gifts, frankincense, gold, myrrh, enabled Joseph and Mary, who lacked resources, to be able to afford a long journey and residence to Egypt for 2 years to escape the wrath of a jealous Herod who had decreed that all 2-year-old boys throughout the land would be killed. Let me just say it again. With an eternal view, our possessions, the blessings God has given us, become exciting possibilities of ways we can change eternity.